Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new video. And today, this video is going to be a little bit different from what I would usually post, because this video is going to be about a conspiracy theory that I have made. So let's get into this conspiracy theory, because it really does make me wonder something. And in the end of the video, make sure to leave your comments down below about what you think about this theory. So first, let's start with Taylor Swift in 2016. So in 2016, the Swifties were awaiting the next album, and as you can see in this photo, Taylor had bleached her hair to this kind of whitish, blondish color, and had kind of rebranded with this blacker, kind of purple aesthetic lipstick. And she even did some photo shoots like this, and it started to make fans wonder and think, hey, we're already entering our next era. However, Taylor was having some issues at the time, struggling with people like Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, and things went kind of wrong, and Taylor was kind of in a bad light at the time. And allegedly, that's the reason why this next part of the theory was never happened or never released, so let's quickly talk about it. This is some of the cover art for the 2016 album by Taylor Swift called Karma. However, this album, as you may know, was never actually released, and there really is no evidence, and we do actually have a little bit of evidence from Taylor herself that this could be a real project that was never released, and there's also the fact that we could actually have Karma under disguise, and an album that is already out, but we just didn't realize it was Karma. So let's quickly talk about the signs that Karma could be a real album. So let's start with the cage in this one scene of the Look What You Made Me Do music video. As you can see in this visual, Taylor is in a bird cage and is wearing an orange outfit. And orange was supposed to be the original color for the Karma era. And as we know, every single era apparently has some sort of color, and for every era. Sometimes when the Taylor's versions were released, the color palette kind of changed, but mostly the albums would, between the albums have the same color palettes. And this was originally supposed to be the orange album, if it was ever even existent. But that is our first piece of evidence that says this album was a real album that was meant to be released. And then next, there's this scene in the music video where she appears to be standing in a vault. And as we know from the Taylor's versions, the vault is typically what Taylor sees when she sees her unreleased songs. She typically sees her unreleased songs as being in the vault. So this could definitely be symbolizing an unreleased album. So that is our second piece of evidence. It says that Karma was a real album. And then here is the next piece of evidence. As you can see, there is this one part in the Man music video, which was in 2019, where you can see all of Taylor's albums written on the wall back when she didn't have any authority over her albums. And as you can see, it said, missing, if found, return to Taylor Swift. And smack dab in the middle of this, what are those words? Karma. Another piece of evidence to show that Karma was or is a real album. And now that you've seen the evidence, you may be thinking, so okay, Karma was could have been a real album, maybe it wasn't. But you're probably thinking, so what exactly does Karma have to do with anything? Why are we talking about this? Well, what if I told you that there very well could already be an existing Taylor Swift album that is just Karma in disguise? And no, it's not Reputation. And here is your proof. The life of a showgirl could very well be Karma in disguise. So you're probably thinking, okay, at this point, Cryax, you're losing your mind. What are you talking about? Showgirl's so much different. It has such a different aesthetic from the photos of Karma versus the photos of Showgirl. Her hair is not bleached a different color. It's not really that short. But let me give you the evidence. Let me give you the evidence that says that the life of a showgirl could very well be karma. And here is the other piece of evidence that says that karma is, and my main piece of evidence that says that karma and showgirl are the same album. And as it is this one scene, as you know, this is the scene from the Wood lyric video, but this does represent a scene in the Fatal Ophelia music video. And in that scene, Taylor is standing in a cage that is lifted up. And what color is this cage? Orange. And what is the color of the Life of a Showgirl album? And what is the main color? Again? Orange. There is even some more evidence to prove there that Karma is an album. Now, you're probably thinking, you may have some evidence to prove, okay, you may have evidence to prove that Showgirl and Karma are the same album, but then you're also probably thinking, then why does she have a song called Karma on Midnights? And then didn't she write Actually Romantic and Showgirl in the Life of a Showgirl in another era? And on the vinyls, it says she wrote the music in 2024. Well, I'm going to get to all of those answers. Now, first, let's start with some of the songs on Life of a Showgirl. Personally, the Karma Theory only really stands up and said pretty much. So, the Karma album, as far as I know, there was no recordings or YouTube videos of the actual album because it was never announced or released. So, it's very likely that Taylor could have never actually recorded this album, and she just wrote the music for it, which would basically mean that there would be 10 songs that were originally written. Though Actually Romantic, I do personally believe that Actually Romantic and Life of Showgirl featuring Sabrina Carpenter were written later on and were added onto the project. And I do not believe that they were supposed to be originally in the Karma album. I definitely believe those were written later on. And now let's get into the theory following the song Karma. Now here is the information on the song Karma. Now there's kind of two different theories that could say about the Karma song. So first, let's start with the first one. The first theory says that the song Karma was originally supposed to be on the Karma album as the title track. However, eventually Taylor decided to release it later on in the Midnights era, and eventually decided in 2024 she was going to put into the works the Karma album under the name The Life of a Showgirl. Or then there's a second theory, which I personally believe Karma was written later on, and it was never meant to be on the Karma album, and there may have actually been another song called Karma that Taylor wrote that was never actually released, and she just decided to never release it after, because then it would be confusing to have a song called Karma on one album and have a song called Karma on the other album. So, yeah, I guess that makes sense, and that's kind of the explanation behind the Karma song. And if you still don't believe that Karma was a real album, here is definitely some artwork that could make you think otherwise. It definitely gives a ton of Life of a Showgirl vibes and things like that. Life of a Showgirl could very well be Karma. And now you're probably thinking, okay, but Taylor's never done anything like this before. If she has an unreleased album, she probably would never release it. However, let me give you some evidence that could actually also say that she does have a similar situation to this, and that is the Woodvale theory. I don't have the full amount of time to go into the Woodvale theory, and comment below if you'd like me to make a video about the Woodvale theory, but it is believed that the Tortured Poets Department, the anthology, could possibly have songs that were on an unreleased album called Woodvale on it. So, let me know in the comments if you want me to make a full video on the Woodvale theory, or you can probably go look it up as well. And make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And before I officially leave, I would like to show some more alleged photos from the Karma era that I have not shown yet. But before I officially head out, I'd just like to say that Elizabeth Taylor has been officially announced to be the new single on Life of a Showgirl. So comment down below also if you think it deserved to be a single, and cry X out. Bye guys.